What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about XRP in this video. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, my friends. It is the 24th day of September, and here we are sitting at about $2.88. We got 10 hours and 9 minutes left in the day. Up a little bit. You're up about 2% on the day, which is nice to see. Bitcoin is up just under a percent, so XRP continuing to outperform Bitcoin to the upside and to the downside. And I guess whenever it outperforms it to the downside, that's not a good thing, right? Like it moves more to the downside whenever Bitcoin moves down. But here we are, looking like we're looking for a low. It's very possible that that is the low. Is that a lower low? Is it a low? I think it's a higher low. Yes, it's a higher low. It's very possible that XRP has found its low. I think Bitcoin could go lower than this low that it formed today, and XRP could still hold this low as the low. I really do think that's possible. But just understand, double bottoms are a thing, triple bottoms are even a thing, but quadruple bottoms are not a thing. The next time that we prod this area, we will likely break through it, okay? And if we break through it, let's just talk about where we might go first before we get too far into this video. From a low here to a high there. Is this the most appropriate fib to take? Should I take this low over here from back in April? I might take that low from back in April. Let's just see which one's respecting more. They're both kind of disrespected. I like this one more from back in April, if I'm being fair. I think that I do like that one more. So we'll take that. Here, the 382 might be where we go, and typically with the 382, when you interact with it, you do wick a little bit below it. Is that the right one? Hold on. Okay, no, maybe I do like this one. I got the 236s confused. Okay, that's fine. So take that away. There we go. Okay, this one. In which case, the 0.5 still just below this area. Maybe we go down to about $2.64, which that 0.5 looks to be right there in line with these prior resistance points here. Just a little bit lower. We break through. We fake out. Oh no, we've gone lower than any low that we've seen since August. This must be bad for XRP, but really we're just finding support at this prior area of resistance. Could we go below that? Sure. We could go even lower. Does this mean that we go all the way to the golden ratio? No. I would think that $2.50, $2.65, somewhere in there, that's going to hold as support. We're at 288 right now. But I do think that we go lower. I want to measure this real quick. How low would that be? Anything from an 8% drop to a, let's put it right there, 8% to like a 10% drop. If XRP drops 8 to 10%, then Bitcoin's got to drop like 4 to 5%, right? You would think. Which, double bottom, maybe. Bitcoin does a double bottom. Hey, wouldn't that be something? That'd be nice. Slightly higher low, something like that. Maybe. Maybe not. It doesn't have to be. Just because XRP drops 10% doesn't mean Bitcoin has to drop 5%. It could drop more, it could drop less, but just, roughly speaking, XRP tends to drop twice whatever Bitcoin drops. Maybe a little bit less than that. I do expect that we go lower. I do expect that we have lower prices. I think that we're near the low, but we're not at it yet, but time will tell. We're having a little bit of volatility now, and that's nice, but don't get too excited. 1 hour time frame here. Yeah, we're just in this horizontal consolidation range. It's like if this wick wasn't here, there'd really be nothing bullish about this at all. And the fact that there's a wick, don't get too excited, right? That doesn't mean that it's bullish either. It's like here, you had some pretty bearish candles, but that was literally right at the low. You didn't proceed lower after that, so... the RSI is bullishly postured right now, I must admit, as are the stochastics, as is the MACD as well. But you are, with that being said, at a point that you've rejected a few times. You're just not doing the same thing that you did these other times. So perhaps you come up a little bit first, and that's okay. If you come up a little bit, if we do move up from here, I wouldn't think that we move up too much. Maybe you move up to about $2.95, $3, somewhere in that area. I doubt that you move higher, and then we move lower. If we're looking at this on a 4-hour basis, that would just be a lower high here. Could you move up even a little bit higher than that? Sure. $3.05? Sure. Right? Lower high? That could happen. Absolutely. Don't get too excited if that happens, though. Let's see. Four-hour time frame. Bouncing off the oversold zone. Stochastics coming down. 2 hours left in this 4-hour candle. You know, if this candle can close green, if it can come back up in the next 2 hours, which wouldn't be hard to do, you're not even down like 0.1% right now, or about 0.1%. If you could come up and close this 4-hour candle green, there might be hope to continue to move up to about $3, like I was saying, $2.95 or a little bit higher than that. I like the 1-hour time frame, so I'm going to give it the green light. I think you can move up higher, but if Bitcoin starts to move down, understand you're going to move down too. XRP is in a bit of a peculiar place right here. The RSI, there's good things and bad things going on here, right? The bad things, you've got lower highs. Clear as day, right? Good thing, you have some bullish divergence there, bouncing off the oversold zone. I guess it's not bullish divergence, but still, it looks good enough in my opinion with that higher low there. I take it back. I don't know if you move higher, man. I'm going to say you move lower. I'm going back. I'm going to flip-flop here. I think you are going to move lower. Even if you move higher, I still think you're going to move lower, right? That was always the case, right? At first, I did think that you were going to continue to move up here, or maybe even a little bit higher, and then move down. I'm starting to think that maybe we just find resistance here, and that we do move lower. It depends. You know, 2 hours left in this 4-hour candle. If we can move up and close this green, the odds that we go higher are in your favor. If you close red here and reject, you're rejecting the stochastics in the overbought zone. You're rejecting the 50 on your RSI. The MACD is bearish overall, so whatever. And then Bitcoin would likely be going down too. All that in combination would likely send you lower. So I'm going to call for that against my initial thoughts. I think that we will hold this as resistance and go lower. But if I'm wrong, and move up to $2.95 to $3.05, whatever, you move up to this area, just understand you're probably still going to come back down. Okay, don't get too excited. And where are we going to go? 264, 255, probably somewhere in that area. That'd be my guess. Looking at the daily time frame here. Let's see. I have to let my cat in. It's funny. He doesn't normally hang out by the door, but it looks like he wants to come in. He must be cold. It rained last night. It's fall time. You know, it's getting cold out here in Colorado. There, instead of dew, we've got like frost in certain places, right? Daily time frame does look a little bit interesting, I gotta say. You're at this point that you do like to find support on the RSI. Will you, is the question. 10 hours left in the day. Does today close green or does it close red? You can find support here and still come back down. Stochastics look like they want to go, like they're crossing up, which is nice, but they look like they want to go to the oversold zone. I would think that we do go to the oversold zone. And the MACD is crossing here below the zero. All in all, I very much do believe that XRP is going to go lower. There's one more thing that I want to talk about before we end the video here, and that's that Ripple has announced a partnership with Securitize, or Securitize announced a partnership with Ripple to enable RLUSD transfers for BlackRock's BUIDL and VanEck's VBIL tokenized funds. So it's like an off ramp. These guys, whenever they tokenize their real world assets, they're using Ripple. They're using the RLUSD to offload in Ethereum or in XRPL. They're able to do that, right? It's like an off ramp instead of an on ramp for them, but on ramp, off ramp, whatever. The on ramp for the real world assets to be tokenized is through VanEck's VBIL and BlackRock's BUIDL, and then whenever they want to transact out, they're using Securitize, or they can use Securitize. Through Securitize, they can use RLUSD Ethereum and RLUSD XRPL. Right, that's what it is. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Not yet, I think. Soon to come, RLUSD XRPL. It's not yet, but I think that in the future this will promote more growth. This is definitely a big partnership. I mean, BlackRock and VanEck, some of the bigger institutions in the space as far as markets go and as far as crypto goes. So definitely exciting stuff. But I got nothing else for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. We're very much expecting that XRP still proceeds to new all-time highs, that it goes up to dramatically higher, fantastically higher prices. We're just waiting. At the moment, you know, if I'm wrong, best case scenario, I'm wrong. This week continues to build. We have 4 days, 11 hours left in this week. Look at how big of a wick we've got so far. If we can come back up and close this week at 297 or higher, it's undeniable at that point that this is the low, right? Moving up to 297 is not enough. We have to close there or higher to prove it, but I think we can do that. maybe by the end of this week, and if not, maybe sometime next week. I still assume that Bitcoin and the rest of crypto is going to go down a little bit, so slightly lower lows on the horizon. But then next week, going into the end of the month, going into October, things should be very bullish. So that's all I got. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. Take care. Bye bye.